This video is looking at fibromyalgia and massage. Fibromyalgia is a very debilitating and often misunderstood condition. Because there's no single test for it and there's often no outward sides of the illness, it can be difficult to diagnose, and it's one of those illnesses that's diagnosed by the elimination of anything else. Fibromyalgia, also known as fibromyalgia syndrome, is sometimes also called unspecified rheumatism and muscular rheumatism, but the growing medical body of opinion points to it being a disorder of the central nervous system. The research is really ongoing, it's still early days for the research. But it's not a rare condition. There's around 7 million sufferers in the US alone and over 1 million in the UK. The symptoms of fibromyalgia are many and varied, but three of the central problems are, first of all, chronic pain and hypersensitivity to that pain, chronic fatigue, and cognitive dysfunction. The chronic pain will usually be widespread. It may feel to the sufferer as though they've just run a marathon, they're coming down with a flu, or it can be a sharp, intense arthritic pain. The pain can also be experienced as stabbing, shooting, or burning for up to 24 hours a day, every day. It is just exhausting for sufferers. Brain fog or fibro fog is common as cognitive functions impacted by the condition, with sufferers experiencing difficulty in concentrating, being easily distracted, and that can lead to problems in decision making, memory, and speech. Muscular tension, walking with stiff and sore muscles, digestive disorders, recurrent headaches can all be experienced by the person with fibromyalgia, and it can also lead to falls. There's more symptoms as well listed in the textbook. Sleep disturbances are a problem. It particularly impacts on stage 4 deep sleep, and during sleep sufferers are constantly interrupted by bursts of kind of awake-like brain activity, which limits the amount of time they spend in deep sleep. So people aren't getting that deeper healing sleep that the body really needs to repair itself. So with all of this, can massage help when touch itself can be painful? Well, the answer is yes, and often massage is the non-drug treatment of choice for the fibromyalgia patient, but some clear guidance for safe and successful massage for people with the condition. The most important factor with any massage is to start treatment very gently. Even the lightest of touch might be excruciatingly painful, so it's essential that you start very gently, perhaps build depth as sessions progresses, so that you're able to receive feedback from your client as to how their individual body is responding to the treatment. Secondly, be sure in your touch. Tentative or nervous contact might stimulate the skin too much and cause pain, so be gentle but be confident. Thirdly, work in short bursts to begin with. It can be built on as both practitioner and client learn how the fibromyalgia will respond to massage. You need that client feedback before you work for longer, so start short and build it as you go. One of the key elements to the successful treatment of fibromyalgia with massage is to ensure you're releasing the fascia. Without getting too complex, and we've looked at it elsewhere, fascia is probably best described as connective tissue. It's made up of collagen fibres. It wraps and it binds together muscles, bones, nerves, blood vessels and organs. It's a strong interconnection between all of the entire body, really. There's much more of this in the textbook, and we've touched on it elsewhere too. When fascia stops moving properly, then both the fascia and the underlying muscle is restricted. Reasons for the fascia ceasing to move can be numerous. It could be as simple as a lifestyle which doesn't involve much movement and stretching. It could be due to chronic dehydration or to an injury that causes pain. So instead of keeping mobile, the patient keeps an area still to protect it. The starting point for massage for someone with fibromyalgia is to begin to release the fascia. So that's what our treatment work with a client will focus in this section. With the fascia release work, it doesn't matter where on the body you start. It's often easier to start on the upper body, but it's not a kind of, it's not a rule. Fascia lines in all directions across the entire body, so you can't go wrong no matter where you start or which direction you work in. The priority is that you work all of the main areas. It can feel really good for the client if you start working outwards from the spine, but as I say, it's a guide, it's not a rule. The areas around the shoulder, the neck and the full length of the spine can be very tight, as can the fascia around the ribs. The ribs will most likely be very tender, so work gently and work slowly. These aren't all of the fascia release techniques available, but they're great ones for working with a number of different conditions, including fibromyalgia. When it comes to adding other treatments, maybe start by just adding the hands and head to start with and build from there as the client relaxes more into the treatment and you know that the massage isn't going to trigger their condition. So one of the most useful tools for working with fibromyalgia and for muscular dystrophy, but you can use it in any massage at all, is fascia release work. Now there are lots and lots of techniques with here. I'm just going to show you 3. The first of all is this kind of thumb twist. And what we're trying to do is just move the top layers of the skin. If somebody's very dehydrated, you'll find that will happen, as in the skin won't move. So you can see I'm about a thumb width apart from my 2 thumbs together, and I'm trying to kind of get the nails to come next to each other, is perhaps the best way to explain it. So it's flat of thumb. And the beauty of this is you go everywhere. You can cover the whole client's back. It doesn't matter if you're working over the spine. It doesn't matter if you're working over ribs. And what we're starting to do is just to loosen the surface tension, which of course then goes a lot deeper because any surface fascia will go deeper into the body. It's one whole interconnected web. You'll find that certain areas are tighter than others. That will be where the muscle tension is lying underneath it. And it will show you something about your client's patterns of movement. So with Bev, hers tends to get a bit tighter, kind of around this bra strap area really. And that will be a mixture of posture, of work that she's been doing. Any woman with larger breasts will tend to get this tension here. So you can do this twisting anywhere, and one of the important things, I'm not using any oil. As soon as I use oil, I'm just going to slip across the surface of the skin, and I want to actually be moving the skin. So you can see as it loosens up, I'm getting more and more movement. It's important to get a decent gap, so that kind of thumbs gap between your 2 thumbs. If you're too close, you can't get the movement and it can become quite nippy. So we don't want to be nipping. It should feel quite nice to your client. I have clients who've come and maybe had an injury, so they don't want the deeper work. And we do this work and then they ask, can we integrate it? Can we integrate it into every treatment? So there's a big argument for starting with fascia release before you even do your warm-up work. And we cover everywhere with this. It's easier on the back than it is on the arms and legs, but you can use this anywhere. I tend to specifically use it, particularly on the back. And then the second technique is we're going to roll the skin. So we're picking up enough skin so that we can actually roll it between our fingers. So we're picking up all of the layers of skin. And so we start to separate the tissues a little bit more, just create that movement in tissues. We're not separating them as in splitting them, but we're just creating movement. And because fascia lies in every direction, we do this in every direction. It can get a bit tickly around the ribs, so if your client's particularly sensitive, just be careful with that. Again, have a sure touch, but it's quite gentle work. And while I'm doing this, you can also see the draping that we've done. We've done what I would refer to as a cowl drape, and I tend to do this particularly for ladies because I can get access all of the back that I need, but I'm only uncovering what I need. And by tucking the blanket in underneath the arm, it means that I've not got any breast showing at the side. And I will do this in my general treatments as well, not just when I'm filming. Just so the client feels secure on the table. I don't need to take the blanket all the way back and kind of tuck it in down here. I can access everything that I need here. So after you've done some of the rolling, you can go back to the thumb twisting. And if you find a really resistant area, you can just use static pressure. And you'll find that if you hold it, sometimes for up to 2 minutes, Sometimes it actually starts to move. It'll start doing this and it looks as though your finger is moving, but it's actually the fascia kind of unwinding that is moving your finger. Check it out on a really, a friend who's got a really tight back. It's quite cool to see. So you can do that static pressure, and I go between all of these different things. So the skin rolling, the thumb twisting, and the static pressure. You could do an entire hour's treatment like this. You know, you could come right out to here, across the shoulder and do it. You could go down the arms, you could use the legs, but you could easily spend half an hour just doing this work on the back. And it's best described, people say afterwards, oh, I feel like my back can breathe, because you've just introduced that movement, but very, very gently through these techniques. And particularly for a client with fibromyalgia or somebody with muscular dystrophy, it's a really nice way to get into the work. It's not challenging, it's not painful at all, and it just starts to free everything up very nicely.